That success harkens back 30 years when another coaching legend, Cyclone head coach Bill Bergen, put together one of his finest Harrier teams. The 1989 Iowa Staters were truly world class. Its team leader was All-American John Nuttall, who had put together a year of healthy training. There were 5 eventual All-Americans among the Cyclone top 7, which had been ranked first nationally the entire fall. The Cyclones easily won the Big 8 and NCAA regional titles and prepared for the NCAA Championships at the Naval Academy in Annapolis, Maryland. The night before the race, first-year Cyclone Jonah Koech went to see Bergen in his room.
He just blurted out, "It's going to be very difficult to win that meet tomorrow." And I said, Jonah, I said, you just have to do your job. You've been a consistent number 3 man. You've got to hang in there close to Darrell Smith. And he said, "But it's going to be really hard for me to win." And I thought, "Jonah, what are you talking about? You're not going to win." But in his mind, because of the talks that we'd had and that with the team, I think he took everything to himself, and he was getting the message, Coach expects me to win. Not just the team to win, but Coach expects me to win. And so then I kind of worried about Jonah, what he was going to do, or if he was going to go too hard. I just told him to hang in there and hang in there close to Darrell Smith. Well, then with about a mile to go, I think it was about a mile, Jonah moved up. He moved past Darrell and he went up to the front of the pack with John. And my thought was the same as John's, as he shared later. Jonah is going to die and we're going to lose the meet. Oregon's going to beat us because Jonah's running too hard, too soon. And so I felt the same way. And then with about maybe a mile or a little bit less to go, Jonah took off. And he took about a 40-yard lead on John and everybody else. And then it looked like Jonah was going to win this thing. And John, in his mind, said the same thing. He said, in my mind, I said, Jonah's going to win this thing. And then John said, I reflected in my mind a little bit. I beat him every day in practice. I beat him every day in the meets. And there's no way he can beat me. So John said, if that would have been anybody else, he probably would have thought, I can't do it. I'm dead, I'm tired. But he knew it was Jonah and knew it was a teammate that he had beaten, that he could outrun every day. So he took off and came back and won, and then Jonah was second. So, and I think Darrell ended up 6th in the team scoring, so 3 of the top 6 places. And so that was a big step in our first national championship.
Iowa State ran away with the title with 54 points to runner-up Oregon's 72. The Cyclones were then recognized before a raucous Hilton Coliseum crowd before Christmas. How deep was this team? The Cyclones' 6th man that day was freshman John Brown. The young Iowa Stater would go on to be one of the all-time ISU greats as a 4-time All-American. Brown made 3 Great Britain Olympic teams, placing 4th in the marathon at the Sydney and Athens Olympiads in the 2000 and 2004 Olympic Games, respectively. He also went on to win the gold medal at the 1999 European Cross Country Championships. Nuttall, a World Cup silver medalist in cross country, joined Brown on the 1996 Great Britain squad at the Atlanta Games. Koech would win the NCAA Championships the following year in Knoxville, Tennessee. He ended that race by nonchalantly clicking the timing button on his watch at the finish line, as if he were out for an easy run in the neighborhood. That, fellow Cyclones, is when you know you're good.